Hey everyone, welcome to Texas Toast. Actually, I should say Texas on Tap because this is when producer Kyle and I sit down and we just kind of chit chat about music and look at the charts. And we've got some fun stuff to talk about today. You know, one thing I want to mention first, Kyle, before we kick this off, is I love our intro from John
Oh,
Stork.
me too. He's the best.
Isn't it the best? We have the best intro and outro, our other one from Phineas Red Band. But speaking of John Stork, If You Can Dance moved into the top 20 on the charts this week. So we'll get to the other numbers on the chart a little bit later on as we're progress through Texas on Tap. First one I want to look at today is they're coming off their fourth number one, bringing country back. They just released a new one to follow up. It's Chad Cooke Band, and the name of the song is I Want to Go Out. I love the lyrics. It's a feel-good song. The harmonies are great. Once again, it'll be another grand slam for Chad Cooke Band on that one.
hmm Yeah, I really enjoy that song. The harmonies are the ones that stand. I mean, that's the main thing that stands out for me with Chad Cook's songs. But yeah, the chorus, like you said, just feel good. It's a nice, easy listening song. It's kind of relaxed, but it gets you amped up at the same time.
Yes. Also, have you ever went somewhere like on a road trip or a trip and you just felt like you really didn't want to go home? Like you love home and home is great, but you just kind of wanted to stay a little bit longer. Have you ever had one of those experiences?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think
Yes.
everybody has.
Well, then you could really relate to the new one from the Teague Brothers, Don't Want to Go Home. They have a new release and I'm really liking that one. And if I'm not mistaken, do we have them booked yet?
We do. Yep, we've got them coming on. I like
Okay,
that. I
so
like that transition there too. That was nice.
yeah, so I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail because there is a awesome backstory on that song. So everybody get ready for that as that's going to be coming up. And then I picked another one for this week, and he actually is a friend of mine, goes way back through when he first started in music and was doing his radio tour, and that's Cody Wayne. And we thank him for his service. He was a devoted Marine. He's devoted to veterans, and he has a single out that's charting, and it's called Nashville.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's so relatable to me. I mean, how many people think they sound like $1,000,000 when they're driving down the road or they're in the shower singing?
Oh yeah, it's very relatable.
And so I just love the pun on this song. And speaking of that, singing out loud, when I worked in radio, I would be in the studio and I just had to sing along all the time really loud. And of course you have headphones on, or I had the monitors like super duper loud. Every now and then there would be like this banging on the window and it's like, hey, you like that Kevin Fowler song? Yeah, I love it. Can't you tell? Let Kevin sing it. Of course, that's so cheesy. That's such an old joke. So many people use that joke, but I'm that kind of girl singing out loud. So, what do you got for us streaming this week? Well, actually, I kind of know what you do, and I'm in love with some. So, I'm going to let you
Cool.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to start with Randall King. He's got around forever. It's been working its way up the chart. I'm sure it's all over your charts as well. Um, it's just another kind of like a classic, Randall King sound. He's got that like I guess slow dancing, love your lady kind of two-stepping thing just on lock, and he's been
He's
doing it
just,
for
yes.
yeah. He's like it's almost like he's. I mean, I hate to make such a general comparison, but he's like the new George Strait in a way.
I've always loved his voice, even when he first hit. It's just like you could just like crawl up and sleep and listen to that voice.
Yep.
But that song right there is so inspiring. It just made me think back to childhood friends, current friends, the things I still have to do, and it just makes you want to just get out and make life count and
hmm
gather up your friends and loved ones. And I know we've had this past year. I'm not going to go into all that, but it's just like I want my friends. I want some hugs. I want to go see old friends. Looking forward to meeting new friends. But it's just really an inspiring song, just to
Yep.
get off the couch and get out and do something. Of course, I don't have much couch time myself, but anyway, I love it.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's that new EP he put out. It's just full of great songs, and all of them kind of give you that same just feel good and want to like be positive kind of. And I don't know, just sets a good tone for your morning to get through the day. So another one that I wanted to talk about this week is the Wilder Blue. I'm sure most people listening are familiar with them by now. Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Love
yeah.
it. Love it.
So I've been wanting to talk about this one for a while actually, but the Palomino Gold is their charting single right now, and that song is just It's awesome. Like, gets stuck in my head all the time. I'm just like, Frio River Blue all day long.
Oh, I'm telling you, anything, sing about the rivers and I'm on
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Makes you
absolutely.
want to take a trip to the Frio. That was the first thing when I made my notes, and just get outdoors in the hill country and on the river. And yeah, Palomino Gold that's a kicking song right there. Loving it.
It's in they've got like a really succinct sound throughout that whole record, and it's quite a bit different from, I guess, for those listening that don't know who Wilder Blue is. They're you can call them a super group, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Zane Williams, obviously he's a prominent solo career, and then you've also got
Yes.
Paul Eason, who we've talked about before with Bree. He had a whole solo career as well with lots of successful stuff, and then also the drummer is Lyndon Hughes, and he's played with like pretty much everybody you can think of in Texas country. So
Yes. And and one thing I forgot to mention when I was visiting with her, and we discussed Paul. And of course we discussed, in case you missed it, you can look up the podcast. We had a great time with Bree. But I brought up Paul Eason because when he was having his solo career, One More Dance is one of my all-time favorite songs, and we discussed that. But I left out in between where Paul and I had met up again when I was doing shows with Kevin Fowler and doing stage intros and promotions with them. Paul played with Kevin for a while.
oh, okay, cool. Oh, actually, I
Yes.
did know that he was his lead guitar guy, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like they pushed the boundaries a little bit with this stuff. The just like the vocal melodies are more creative than Zane's older stuff. It's got this like eerie kind of like spookiness, but it's, or like a haziness. But like you said, it's that river like good feels thing.
Yeah, that intro reminds me of some old school Texas music, and it's a lot. I hear a lot of Zane in it. I hear some Paul Eason in it. I hear some Wade Bowen in it. So it's like I love the intro on it. It brought back old times of like way back in the day with Texas music.
Absolutely.
As it was evolving. So anyway.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of this band that I mentioned to you that I want to get on the show, but another Texas band from Magnolia, Jamestown Revival. It's not quite as folky and harmonious as them, but it's got that very similar kind of like cabin in the woods type thing.
I am so into them. They are really good.
Oh yeah, they're great. I really hope we get them on the show.
Dripping Springs vodka is handcrafted in the Texas Hill Country in 50-gallon batches and is 100% all-natural, gluten-free, and certified kosher. Dripping Springs is not only our favorite Texas spirit, but also the only American-made vodka to hold a vodka purity trophy from the prestigious International Wine and Spirits Competition. You can find a bottle at your nearest liquor store or at DrippingSpringsVodka.com to order online and have it shipped right to your door. Dripping Springs vodka. Taste the small batch difference. Texas Toast is brought to you by Zilker Belts. Combining the craftsmanship and world-class leather from Argentina with the creativity and personality of Austin, Texas, Zilker Belts provides a one-of-a-kind addition to your wardrobe. Styled for any occasion, at home, at a music festival, on a hike, at the office, or on the golf course. Zilker Belts is also a company that focuses support on great nonprofit organizations. Born in Argentina, raised in Austin, visit zilkerbelts.com.
Okay, I had one more, and it is Texas Rain by Graycie York. I have been seeing her name all over the place since we started this thing. This is the first time I've noticed her song pop up on this chart, and I'm sure, or maybe I'm not sure she's on radio yet or not, but she's clearly doing something for social media. Either she's got somebody doing it for her, or she's just, I guess maybe she's young, so she's got that naturally in her brain. But I see her name all the time. Anytime I pop onto Twitter, she's there doing something. But it's a really good song. The thing about Graycie is she's young, and I'm really excited to see how her voice develops over the next couple years.
Me too. Yeah, she does have a phenomenal voice, and like you said, with maturity, we'll see where we're going.
Absolutely.
So I guess we're going to go ahead and look at the charts and see who's popping and topping. I can tell you that we talked about Kylie Fry's Horses in Heaven, her duet with Randy Houser last week on this particular segment, Texas on Tap, and it did make the most debuts. It was the most added song in Texas music. And of course, like I talked about last week, if you're a grandpa's girl like I was, then that's your girl, that's your song. And I forgot, I remember Kylie, she actually grew up in the country in Louisiana. She was goat roping, goat tying, farm girl, ranch girl, and her daddy came by the station one time. and they brought, I want to say it was beef jerky or something like that they had made. So she's just one of us. And of course, Randy Houser, he's an awesome songwriter. So she did make a good debut. So did Kin Fo with their new single Plainview, which I've been listening to that over and over. I'm absolutely loving that one and looking forward to them visiting with us.
Mm-hmm.
So on the TexasCountryMusicChart.com, Josh Abbott, Settle Me Down. They're at number 1 this week. They were at number 1 last week, so they're still holding on. And then Chad Cooke Band's at number 2 with their Bringing Country Back. And then, of course, they have the new one coming out. Parker McCollum, To Be Loved by You. He's sitting at number 3 this week. Ken Fo's Honky Tonk in Heaven, which is, it's already peaked, but it's at number 4. Darren Morris hanging in there with I Will at number 5. Teague Brothers Band, Finger and Thumbs. They're at number 6. Bart Crow, by the way, moved up to number 7 this week. And so that's looking at the TexasCountryMusicChart.com. And a lot of those that are already like the first 4, 5, pardon me for counting out loud, people. That's going to make room for the ones that haven't peaked yet to come forward. So we'll probably have some new number 1s next week. On CD Extraction Texas, Josh Abbott Band, Bart Crow's at number 2 on CD Extraction Texas. And I mean, it's only been 9 weeks on the chart and he's at number 2. That's our Bart. Parker McCullum, number 3. Curtis Grimes at number 4. And Josh Ward, I love this one, A Cowboy Can. He's at number 5, but of course, once again, those songs are, they've been swapping out number 1s and off and on. And then on the Texas Regional Radio Report, guess, Josh Abbott Band. And then George Navarro, Lost in a Kiss is at number 2. George Dukas with Old Timers is at number 3. Number 4 is Cross Rags and Young with Reckless, and Full Time Fool, the State Line Band, which I really like them. And Ariel Hutchins, Wine Won't Work, number 6.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love that song. We talked about that one a couple of weeks ago or so. So that's who's charting and popping, and it's just so exciting. It's just such a good time for music. And it was like, it's funny. This morning I got up, and of course I was prepping for this and listening to my music and going through some of my stuff. And you probably haven't heard this song, but I need you to, this is going way back old school. I used to love to play. I love to just throw this song in after it had already been released and it charted and everybody got to know Josh Greider when he first came along. But it's a song he came out with called One Night Taco Stand. I am one night taco stand blasting while I'm doing my little chores and doing little things around here. So that was what I was listening to, that and some Trent Willman.
Nice.
Yeah. But, and speaking of Trent's, I talked to Trent Cowie yesterday. He called me. Of course, his episode aired. We released his episode yesterday. So if you haven't tuned in for that, get to know Trent. And he and I have some plans, hopefully, that will work out. And I don't know, we may just pop up together on this podcast, me and Trent on the boat.
Awesome.
And producer Kyle saying, oh, hell no, she is not going there. Oh, yeah, we're going to go there.
Do it. Okay. I'm not holding you back.
Texas Toast is proudly supported by TSE Entertainment, booking entertainment since 1975.
Speaking of music, and like I was referring back to after I talked about visiting with Trent and talking about just going through and listening to old songs today, like the Josh Greider song. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is the first year I haven't looked up the walk-up songs for baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I would always go through the list for the Astros for that. And every year I always go through this, okay, what would my walk-up song be? I know that's hard because like one of the jokes that people make about me, they're like, is every song your favorite song? Got off the air one day and I was out in public doing something. Yeah, they let me out in public every now and then. But I was out in public and somebody said, Miss Helen, like, is like every song like your favorite song?
And you're like,
so
yes.
Well, they like come in waves, but I really think one of my all-time favorites is Kevin Fowler's That Girl. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be my walk-up song.
Nice.
That or kind of getting out of the Texas genre now. I really love Sugarland's song It Happens because that is so me. I wore 2 different flip-flops to work one day. And I had an appearance that was not good. And that and I'm a little bit gypsy Kelly Pickler because I'm a gypsy girl, but
Nice.
anyway, so yeah, but I would have to stick with that girl because it's so upbeat and it, it just gets you going. So any in mind, I hated to throw that at you.
Yeah, no, you'll have to give me a week to think about that. I'll come back next week
You
with some
think
good
about it.
ones. That's like you said, that's tough. That's a hard one.
It's hard, especially for people in music like me and you to pick out one. I would have to tell them, okay, this week is this week is that. But this is a true story. Actually, I had the opportunity to work with Bob Ford. He is the announcer at Minute Maid Park. And so Bob did invite me up to the announcer's booth, and he was brave enough to let me sit behind his mic. It was like security almost, like by me, because they were so scared I was going to say something, because sports broadcasting was actually what I wanted to do, and then here I am in music radio.
Right.
But speaking of the walk-up songs, the guy that runs the computer for the walk-up songs, it's one of those, of course, touch screens. I got to hit it.
Oh, you got to cue it up. Nice.
I did. It was so awesome.
That's cool.
That's memories of a lifetime for me.
Who was walking up? Do you remember?
I was so enamored. I can't even remember. I was thinking about that this morning. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back through my memories because I'm getting old. I can't recall things like usual, but it was almost like it was like one of those surreal moments to where like there was almost like this fog around me, and then it happened, and then I got to hit the charge and all that. So it was pretty cool.
Sweet. That's so cool. Yeah, that's one of those like once in a lifetime memories.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to give a shout out to somebody on Instagram. We a couple weeks back we were talking about how we ask all the guests, if you were a cocktail, what would you be? And then we asked the listeners to send us over their own cocktails. So Carl from the UK, his Instagram handle is Carl_boot stoppin country, sent us in a cocktail. Carl's
hold up. Boot stomping country. He is serious.
Yeah, he's serious.
I love him.
Yeah.
Hey, boot stomping country.
And he's got it going on over there too. Like he messaged us a couple days ago and said he just got a weekly hour-long Texas country radio show in the UK. So
way to go.
He's been super supportive since we started, and so he sent in his cocktail, and he's calling it a redneck margarita.
I love this.
Yeah. So.
All right, wait. Let me get my pen because you ran through it with me, but I got to write this down and see if I could even handle it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel, but it's interesting. So it starts off with some tequila. I guess you're gonna go 1 ounce tequila, then you're gonna go 1/2 ounce of Jack Apple, so Jack Daniel's apple flavor, and then you're gonna top it off with Mountain Dew.
All jacked up on Mountain Dew. Look out.
So and he was explaining to me that in the UK it's a little bit different than in the States, and I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure how it's different, but apparently it's a little different than it is over here in the States. And then once you got all that mixed together, you dump in a bottle of Corona to finish it off.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was thinking, it's like margaritas are kind of, a little redneck in general. So I wonder what a redneck margarita is going to be. And then
that actually sounds pretty good. Me. And you could use
I'd try it.
I would use like maybe the 0 sugar Mountain Dew, so you wouldn't be so jacked up on. Well, you wouldn't be jacked up on Mountain Dew because you've got all this other stuff going on in here.
True.
I love it.
I would try it. I don't know if I'd enjoy it, but yeah. I just wanted to shout out Carl and say thanks for sending that in, and anybody else who wants to send over a cocktail for us to try, please do.
Yeah, please do. And speaking of that, it's like I'm kind of I don't do the fruity drinks. Like I like my margaritas and things like that, but I am pretty much a vodka drinker, which works out great since Dripping Springs has come on as a sponsor. And I enjoyed some of their wonderful spirit over the weekend. And I like to mix mine with like light sugar-free juices and like I call it the squirts, like the flavor drops that you put in the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's really refreshing. And so, and I really like it. There's this really smooth, and I like the fact that it's gluten-free and how it's made. So yeah, I'm in love with Dripping Springs.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about them is how accessible it is for anybody, like people with allergies or, diet restrictions and stuff that this is a good option for them. But like you said, it's really smooth. And on top of that, the thing that I like about Dripping Springs is it's not heavy. Like, I guess another vodka comes to mind. But that, comparatively to some of the more popular vodkas, this one's, it doesn't sit heavy with me. It's just, you can drink it and it's so good.
And I mean, I've tried a lot of different vodkas because I try to like keep to those lighter drinks like the vodkas or the rums.
Exactly.
But what I like about their vodka is when you open it up, it doesn't smell like rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've got a couple different options too. So I actually normally drink gin, and they've got some gins as well. They've got an artisan gin and a traditional, and so there, I guess the regular vodka is going to be an 80 proof, and then they've got their orange vodka as well, which is 70. So that's a little bit lighter, a nice mix. And like you said, you can mix that with a little bit of the squirts, or just like top it with some Topo Chico or something. And that's like
Topo. I use Topo all the time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I was looking at some cocktails that Dripping Springs suggested, and whenever I drink vodka, I normally I could do fruity sometimes, but I kind of like the spicy, so I usually will go with ginger. And so I made a mule with ginger beer and a little bit of splash of cranberry juice.
Love gin. Oh, that's my kind of thing.
It was awesome.
Okay, I've got to do that.
Yeah, I loved it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dripping Springs, like you mentioned, came on, and they're supporting our show, and they sent us a nice little care package, like you can see here. And so we're.
Oh, wait! I got you beat. Hang on.
Oh yeah, you got the big one, huh?
And look, it's empty. Where are you? Where am I?
There you go. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm working on it slowly, but it's enjoyable, and the TSE family is going to have a nice little get together and celebrate with some Dripping Springs vodka. So.
Oh, I can't wait for us to all get together. I miss my family. So, well, all right.
I guess we hit it all, huh?
I'm trying to figure out where we're going now. What else is going? Oh, I caught 2 big fish this week.
Oh, I saw a picture you posted on Facebook.
Yeah, that was pushing 28 inches, and then you didn't see the picture of the huge red I caught yesterday. I'm just walking. I'm just throwing out of top water and. Yeah. Anyway, so
nice.
You better stop me right there. Yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff coming up, and again, reach out to us. We want to get to know you. If you've been tuning in, send us your favorite walk-up, what your walk-up song would be, or your favorite cocktail, or if you were, cocktail recipes. I would love that. I think that our boot stomping man did great.
Yeah, that was a nice starter for this segment for sure. It's gonna be hard to compete with.
For sure. So I guess this is going to wrap up our Texas on Tap for this week, and we'll have another one coming up next week. And we've got I can't even keep up with the wonderful. We've been so blessed to be able to book some awesome musicians that we have coming up, and I'm like, there's a couple that I'm looking forward to, and it's almost like I feel like it's Christmas time. Like I want to talk to them like today.
Yeah.
Like I just want to talk to them today, but I know we have to schedule because poor Kyle.
Yep. Can't do them all at the same time, unfortunately, as nice as that would be. But yeah, like you said, we'll get to a point where we're just hanging out on the boat, and we just we schedule them all throughout the day. Come back and pick them up and drop them off 30 minutes later, pick up the next guy, go on out.
Hey, we could make it like a little fishing tournament to see who I could do a little leaderboard for the guys and gals that join us, and do a little leaderboard and see who.
Oh man. Yeah,
then we'll reward them with some Dripping Springs.
Oh yeah. I like it. I think everybody would be in on that.
Absolutely. Well, I guess that's it. And thank you to everyone for supporting the podcast, and just share and get it out there for us, because this is all genuine. It comes from the heart, and I'm loving this so far.
Yeah, so much fun. Check back next week. We got Bar Crow on Tuesday. So
that's a good one. Yes. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Cheers, Kyle.
Cheers. Catch you next week.